Hello, and welcome to The Current. I'm your host, Harrison, and today our first guest is Mia, who's reviewing The Life of a Showgirl by Taylor Swift. Mia, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to talk about The Life of a Showgirl today.
Yeah, of course.
The Life of a Showgirl has completely taken over streaming charts and social media these past few weeks. This album is a total reinvention for Taylor. The Life of a Showgirl feels like a dazzling mix of old Hollywood glamour and modern pop drama. It's theatrical, emotional, and full of clever commentary about fame and performance. She's leaning into this idea of being both the performer and the performance, almost saying, if my life's a stage, I might as well own the spotlight. This comes with no shock as she closed up her record-breaking Eras tour in December. Billboard states Taylor Swift achieves her 15th number one album on the Billboard 200 charts in record-breaking fashion with the debut of her Life of a Showgirl album. Swift breaks out of a tie with Drake and Jay-Z for the most number one albums among soloists and becomes the sole act with the second most number ones. We have to talk about some of the hit songs on the album. The Fate of Ophelia is the opening track referencing the Shakespearean character Ophelia. This is a classic Taylor metaphor with themes of control, femininity, and identity. Elizabeth Taylor is a nod to the celebrity and legacy, mixing glamour with introspection. Opalite is a slightly more romantic and subtle song, which is one of my favorites on the album. This is a nod to Travis Kelce's birthstone Opal, almost saying that love and romance can be man-made. Actually Romantic is a more playful angle on the album. The title suggests that she's leaning into the more rom-com side of pop while still maintaining emotional depth. This song is a direct dig at Charli XCX. The Life of a Showgirl featuring Sabrina Carpenter is the title track. It kind of ties in the overarching theme together of the show, the performance, and what actually happens behind the curtain. According to one source, lyrically it begins narratively, then switches to the narrative reflection on their own performance and fame. We have to talk about the song Wood. Harrison, what are your thoughts?
I think it's a good song, but I don't really like what it's about. I don't really like Travis Kelce. I think he's weird.
I understand. It's been one of the most controversial tracks on the album. Some critics have accused it of being too suggestive or overly metaphorical, but fans argue that it's one of her most daring and poetic songs yet. Despite the backlash, Wood has already broken multiple streaming records in its first week, proving once again that controversy doesn't slow Taylor down. If anything, it fuels her success. As a Swiftie myself, I give it 8 Thunderbolts out of 10. I really like this album. I think it's fun, I think it's poppy, and I think it's something different that we haven't seen from Taylor in a while. So whether you're a lifelong Swiftie or just someone curious about how she keeps evolving, The Life of a Showgirl isn't just another pop album, it's a statement. Taylor is reminding us that being a showgirl isn't just about the glitz and glamour, it's about taking control of your own narrative, even when the world's watching. Thank you again for having me on The Current. It's always great to talk about artists like Taylor Swift.
Thank you, and thank you for watching. We'll see you next time on The Current. Welcome back to The Current. Our next guest is Frank, who is reviewing Sonic Racing Crossworlds. How you doing, Frank?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. You excited about this review?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. When people think of kart racer games, many people only think of Mario Kart, and as not many games seem to replicate its magic. Last month, Sonic Racing Crossworlds made waves because it didn't try to replicate Mario Kart's energy. It made its own. Is this game just a shiny fad, or does it have the quality to stay current? I played the PC version of this game. I was going to skip it at first. I kind of had low expectations, but there were some people that really wanted me to try the beta, and to be honest, I got kind of hooked. It's just, being able to go in and play some quick rounds is kind of fun, and it led to me having a lot of time on the game. So this game has two big differences from a regular Mario Kart game. For one, there is a lot of customization. There are 5 sort of classes that are for the characters and the karts, and you can kind of mix them together. And then there's a lot of cosmetics for the cars. You can get different paint colors, stickers, horns, and auras, which is fun. And there's also more customization in the gameplay with the gadget system. You can get a bunch of passive abilities, and there's 6 points, and different gadgets have different points, and you can kind of just make different builds, have different strengths and weaknesses, just however you want to play the game. I'm not too into it. I just like doing whatever makes me drive fast, but for people who do care about being the best, there is a lot to get into with that system. Another pretty big difference is how the tracks are. So at lap 2 of any race, a portal will open, and you'll just go to either a different racetrack or something called a crossworld, which is just like a portion of a track it's only in between. You can't really pick it from the start. And then when you get back to the original track on lap 3, there are changes. Sometimes maybe it's just a portal opens and the rest of the track is the same, but other times like the sky can be red with a bunch of stuff popping out, or it's a museum where a bunch of ghosts start haunting everything. And it's really cool to see how some of the stuff changes while you're gone. And, the driving feels pretty good. When you're drifting, you can switch what direction you're going without letting go of the boost. And it's really fun, honestly. It feels good. And the power-ups are kind of balanced. In Mario Kart, you only get, like, weak stuff at the front. But in this game, you can get, like, half the items in first. So feels a lot more skill-based. Feels like you have a lot more control. There's just some things that I find frustrating with the game. One is that there's finished content completely in the files and everything, but there's just a timer until when people can access it, just to like drip feed to get people to come back, but the stuff's already done. It's makes no sense to me. And then sometimes on the weekends they'll have these events called festivals where you can get a bunch of limited rewards, which that's already FOMO. I hate that. But when the festival stuff is active, it changes the online races to like team races, but you can't play the normal way online when a festival's going. It'd be ideal to have both, but it's just weird how they do it like that. But these are hiccups into what is otherwise a really fun time. There's a lot of achievements, a lot of different offline modes, and the online has a rank system and crossplay, so there's really a lot to keep going back to, and I really like seeing a good racing game that can go against Mario Kart. So with all of that, I want to give Sonic Racing Crossworlds 8.5 Thunderbolts out of 10. It's by no means a masterpiece, but it does make new ground in an established genre, and I think that's admirable.
Now, Frank, you stated something about the customization in this game. What's your favorite type of vehicle to use in this game?
I like the boost type. There's the 5 types. There's, I think it's speed, acceleration, handling, power, and boost. But I like boost. The gadgets I use make the drifts charge faster and add like a 4th level to it. And also the boost type vehicles all look cool. All the boost type stuff are the hoverboards, like right there in that top corner. And it's just fun. Because top speed only gets you so far.
Yeah, and you were talking about how when you're drifting in the game, you can change directions while also boosting.
It's like before. It's a little weird. It's like in Mario Kart when you're done drifting, you just go immediately.
Yeah.
But in this game, you can go from drifting left to drifting right immediately. It gives you more control over the car. Makes you feel like I don't know, like you're making more purposeful choices.
Yeah. Do you think that this feature will be included in more games like this in the future?
Depends, honestly, on what the goal of people are. Because some people, for the future, I do think a lot of people are just going to keep copying Mario Kart. But maybe there's going to be one person who sees this and tries to replicate this instead. But, it just depends on how relevant the game stays in the future.
I hope so. All right, well, thank you for answering my questions.
Yeah, no problem.
That was Frank with Sonic Racing Crossworlds. Another great review. Thank you for your time, Frank. Really appreciate it. And that was The Current. We'll see you next time. Hello, I'm your host, Harrison, and this is The Current. Today, I'll be reviewing Young Thug's album, Oi Scooty. Rapper, entrepreneur, and entertainer Young Thug, real name Jeffrey Williams, has been in the rap game for most of my life, and his music has influenced thousands of artists. His run in the 2010s was almost unstoppable, and his record label, Young Stoner Life, gained a lot of traction towards the end of this past decade. Artists like Gunna and Lil Keed helped push this style of music like no other after the end of the SoundCloud era. But his newest album, Oi Scooty, has fans disappointed. Following Business is Business in 2023, which charted at number 2 on the charts, this album has not gained as much traction, only peaking at number 6. This project followed a 4-year-long trial surrounding Young Thug being charged with 63 counts, including the Federal RICO Act. Many of his subordinates in his label/gang YSL took plea deals, which is generally looked down upon in the hip-hop community. Thug was convicted on these charges and sentenced to 15 years of probation, with conditions including not being able to return to his hometown of Atlanta and not being able to make gang-related comments in his songs. Features like River from Kanye and Ty Dolla $ign, We Need All the Vibes from Music, and It's Up from Drake's 100 Gigs had me excited for what a modern, post-trial Thug album would sound like. Unfortunately to say, Young Thug has seemingly lost whatever he had before to create good music. Ninja, the first song in the album, opens with a 1.5-minute speech from a prosecutor trying to make Williams sound a lot cooler than he is. It follows with hard-hitting bars on a hype beat, but this style for Thug falls flat. His usual style in his past music, using creative melodic flows, made his music his own and separated him from whatever sound was popular at the time. But this is thrown away to make him sound like every other artist in the game. It's followed by Yuck with a killer feature from Ken Carson, who absolutely owns Young Thug on this track. He completely takes a beat over that Thug couldn't manage to master and gives us some iconic lines like My Life a Movie, It's Made by A24, Yo Stuff, made by Tubi. Cardi B's feature on this album is just as lackluster as her long-awaited project this year. The next couple of features follow suit, especially Thug's girlfriend, Mariah the Scientist. The two have had a complicated relationship recently, and this song did not make me think they're doing any better. Money on Money, a way too early solo single from this album that failed to generate hype long enough to last until the album was released. Future and Thug's verses are decent, but not playlist worthy. Thug also used this album to respond to criticism aimed at him for seemingly cooperating with police on a jail call, where he also calls Glorilla ugly AF, which is interesting. Williams addresses Gunna's plea deal in the calls and how Gunna confirmed to police that YSL is a gang. Thug denied claims of working with police, but much of the discourse online surrounded the idea that when rap artists make it out of the streets, there's no reason to keep making those decisions that are going to land you in jail anyway, after all the money you made legally. I see 40-year-old men on No Jumper heading into random hoods all the time just to cause problems. I mean, you're a grown man. Don't you got bills to pay? And the same thing goes for Thug. What reason do you have to keep your gang together and keep committing illegal activity after you went platinum? This whole situation was a problem for Thug, and this album was not the solution. Especially the album cover, man. Like, what are you thinking? One of the funniest things to come out of this is that some younger rap fans are definitely going to think he's white because of this cover. I mean, I kind of want to hold a white Young Thug lookalike competition so I can find that one guy I met under a bridge in 2019 on Phonem Grave. Thank you for listening as always. This has been The Current. I'm your host, Harrison, and have a nice day.